Hi everybody, thanks for spending some time with me today. We're looking at number 23 in Charlie Porter's Lyrical Etudes. I love these little things. This one is a little bit different because it's very simple, very traditional style, and in some ways that makes it challenging. But I know I've been a little bit, as some of you have said, long-winded in these, pardon. I try and express myself with words, but I realize that's not the best way. Why don't we just do music? So I'm going to play through this and then maybe make a couple of suggestions that you might consider when you're working on a piece like this. Ooh, that has some charm to it. Isn't that nice? And like I said, it's pretty simple. There are some repetitive phrases, easy things to recognize. Now, depending on your level of playing skill, and depending on, as I've talked about in the last episode, the demands of your musical imagination, this may be pretty easy for you. And if it's easy, what that means is, great. You have physical freedom, now see how far you can take it. I'm not very good at this. I tend to be rather conservative in my musical interpretation. And so I've mentioned before, Mark Gould is not conservative. He always goes over the top. And that's actually a good way to find out, well, how far can I go? So this piece says, allegretto cantabile, semplice and sentimentale. So, sentimental, yes, but the Italian word actually implies what is sentimental. It has a lot to do with the way things feel. Not the way they are, but the way they feel. Like I have a very strong feeling. And of course, the Italian culture is, the people are very sentimental. It's all about feeling, right? But it can also go over the top, like I said with Mark, and become kind of like a caricature, or almost like you're making fun of the music. I don't like to do that, but in a piece like this, I might try it. Even though I find it very, like psychologically, emotionally, very uncomfortable for me to do. So there are two ways to go about this. I'm going to start the a tempo, which is the last two bars of the second line, and just play that phrase. This is after the first retard. I'm going to play that phrase into the second retard. And first I'm going to play it straight. So let me do my metronome. I'm trying to feel it in a relaxed one. Good. Well, that was relatively well controlled. It's kind of boring. I'm going to play it with the metronome. Now, because I was concentrating on control, that was actually technically a little bit better. And I felt like I had better control. I felt more comfortable physically, which gave me, psychological comfort too. It's like, oh, I got this. Okay, this is fun. But if I allow myself to do something that's in my musical imagination, I may take myself out of the comfort zone. So I'm not good at this, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to do a little bit, it says simple, you know, semplice, but I'm going to do it not so simple. Take it over the top. Oh yeah, we haven't talked about vibrato much, and I'm leaving that out of the picture, just using subtle vibrato most of the time, which is by basic style. But some people might be playing it. And you might think that's funny. You might think it's a little mawkish, a little bit exaggerated in its sentimentality, but it's just a different style. So try not to make fun of the music. Try and find the actual spirit of the music that resonates with you. But you may have to go through some of these experiments in order to find that. In the middle section, I'll try and just say one more thing. In the middle section, it says a tempo più mosso. So after the retard that I just made, then it goes a little bit quicker, and Charlie says, shift the character to a more sweeping feel, played in one. And I love that idea, sweeping. It has to do with a gesture, right? So we've been going 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to speed it up. Well, how much should I speed it up? Well, let's try the original tempo. The original tempo, if I made it into a third of what's marked, because it's in 3, to go back to my little metronome experiment, that'll put me about 45 or so, approximately. 45 be approximately a third of 136. So if I play the più mosso section in the original tempo, it's supposed to be a little bit more motion, right? But now I'm going to try and get it swing feel in the original tempo. So you see what's happening. I'm getting into 1. That's the original tempo. Now he says faster. He doesn't say how much faster. So I'm just going to bump it up a little bit with my thirds here. Let's see, maybe 52. And play it at that tempo. If you notice, I left the metronome on purpose because I wanted you to hear how I'm pushing the metronome. So instead of playing steady tempo, I'm sweeping. This is steady tempo. That's actually challenging for me to do because I'm feeling the musical impulse, and it's just what Charlie imagined when he wrote this piece. I imagine, since that's what he wrote, sweep. So how would I do that with a sweep? I'm not going to change the tempo. I'm going to do what I did before. Each phrase has a feeling of rolling. It's rolling gently like a bowling ball or a billiard ball across the table. But what if the aisle in the bowling alley, the alley, was downhill? Now that ball would be flowing with a lot more momentum, and that's the feeling you want here. So it's subtle, and it requires a strong internal sense of time. So the way to develop your internal sense of time is, yes, can you play the exact tempos? Can you play them steady? can you go from one tempo to another tempo specifically, specific metronome markings with a feeling of control. All the time you're trying to taste that sensation of the movement of the music. And the movement of the music is the main thing that makes this particular etude work for me. It has, traditional harmonic progressions. It has interesting melody and shape to it, but it's mostly that feeling of dance, of movement like a waltz. Okay, that's enough of my blabbing today. I hope some of it is useful to you, and I hope you'll join me for another one of these sessions when you have time. Enjoy the day and enjoy your practice. Bye-bye.